To Crazy Health Coaches.
Coming at you live.
Good morning, campers. How are you?
So we're here today again, back in the studio.
The Blue Room.
The Blue Room, yeah. So we'll have to always make a mark on the fact that this is where we came from our beginning here.
Remember the days back in the Blue Room,
Back in the
Justin?
Blue Room.
Now, what is blue? Blue is supposed to do something to you, right? Colors have different effects on your mood, your emotion, your
Blue is,
consciousness.
of course, ultra calming. So it's one of those where we see the color of water, talking about flow, talking about energy. A lot of people see this as the ocean. Again, it's definitely one of those if you want to be someone's friend counterpart, and you're just meeting them for the first time. Don't wear ultra bright colors like yellow, orange, and red, but wear calming colors more like blue and softer material. So
I feel calm.
you feel calm?
I have blue eyes, so
Oh,
people feel really calm when they talk to me.
that's probably true. So
I don't know if that's true.
It's nice. It's nice.
You're wearing a blue shirt?
I'm wearing a blue shirt, so it helps. But the idea is it's all about the colors on the inside that count. So what color are you knitting today? That's I think the stronger sort of understanding we're going into.
That's cool. I like
tends
that.
to help.
I like that.
The idea that you give off a light or a color. We all have a light that we were given. Some people are sensitive to this; they call it an aura, but other people just feel as someone walks into the room that they are in the orange mode,
Right.
party mode. The idea is everything's out there versus those ultra sunshine bubbling bright people, very large yellows. And again, it's
Creativity.
yeah, exactly. The idea is anything possible.
I'm a red yellow.
You're a red yellow.
Well, last time I had my aura picture taken. Have you seen that with the Polaroid?
Yeah, exactly.
I was red with some yellow.
Yeah. So
Creative lover, she called me.
be creative. Yeah. That's the nice place to do that. It's unique because again, everything around you plays a role. Everything around you has a part. Yes, the blue room does something. Hence, the blue coaching and counseling in this particular location. Everybody comes in here, and this is the place to get peace, to have some rest calm. Life's hectic, life's crazy, but the idea is to find solutions and find patterns that you can enjoy that will help you get into a better and better place, more quote unquote the feeling or the sense of control, and getting out of areas where you feel like you have or lack control. And it's not so much control in I think the idea that a lot of people have towards the idea of being a puppet master, but it's the idea of direction. I'm able to direct the way I want to go. So I always talk about the way that you take a sailboat out onto a water. You can do the physical work of rowing oars if you prefer to go that route. You can go for a while, but you're going to get tired. But once you set a sail and realize that you can actually direct yourself according to the winds that are around you, you can't go opposite. You can't take something in the direction it's not meant to go, but you can begin to set up patterns, and that means you're technically sometimes driving to the left in order to eventually get right.
Sure. Now, what if I have a motorboat?
You have a motorboat, you kind of got to go faster. So that's where biohacking is awesome. And when we see crazy health coaches discovering ways for actually doing these processes, it is really a tremendous benefit.
Let us motorboat you.
No, see, that's not the right thing to say.
Let us be your motorboat.
No.
Be your own motorboat yourself.
Motorboat yourself. So this is
Good morning.
Detox Shake for the week. Today we're doing this week we're doing blood cleansing on my March detox program.
What does that entail? So you're doing a detox program for March?
For the entire month of March, I always run through the main sort of like cleansing apparatuses for the body. So I do a full colon cleanse, a full liver cleanse, gallbladder cleanse, kidney cleanse, and then
So you're spring cleaning.
spring cleaning the body and finally getting all the dust and the cobwebs out of this temple that we're given in order to actually see that there is, a better way of learning to live, more routines that actually help you feel like you're in control. So March, I always feel like, hey, time to get things cleaned out, and looking forward to the finish of it. So it's unique because the process we go through, if you get patterned with it, very routine as a part of your system, then that means you don't worry so much anymore about what could happen or what's going to happen. You just say, hey, that's my pattern. If I wake up every Wednesday and say, yep, I know what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go sit in the room with Mike and I'm going to go have some fun, talking about good stuff. I don't have to think, oh no, what's in my schedule? I already know it. And that's where setting up routines and putting up good patterns and being committed to those, has helped those as we try to establish that.
Really important while you're getting started on any program. Set up patterns and outlines for yourself so you don't fall into booby traps or old habits and stuff like that. So until you kind of hardwire those new habits, really, really helpful to do that.
Yeah.
So you got your detox drink.
Detox drink.
What you got there?
So this one this morning is pretty intense because again we're really kind of going after particulates in the blood and the surrounding areas of the intestines. So our main focus is actually a compound that's for today and tomorrow will be zeolite powder, which is an extreme heavy metal and radiation detoxifier. So this weekend I'm giving my talk on the 4-year anniversary of the Fukushima incident in Daiichi power plant. And so that's kind of again part of but I was doing this before that happened.
I heard they were eating cookies with zeolite in them.
Yes, oh yeah.
Or muffins and things like that. Where all the workers, the cleanup crew for Fukushima.
It's necessary, very, very necessary.
They're probably taking some caffeine and iodine too.
I hope so. I mean, there needs to be a lot more of that. I know, again, there's a lot of crazy information surrounding this whole event and what's really been happening over there. But so it's got zeolite in there, a really heavy compound which I love for mineralization, but also for intensifying detoxification of shilajit. It's a wonderful mineral pitch that comes from the Himalayan mountains. Really high quality material. It's a very concentrated acid donator, plus a lot of mineralization, which the body needs to start chelating material out of the bloodstream. It's got some TMG in there, which is nice. That butane complex really helps pull material away from that filtration. Because I already spent a week cleaning my liver, the nice thing is that the liver's got less junk inside of it, so it's doing a better filtration process as well too. That's why when you finish with this nice blood cleanse, you're letting the blood finally, anything that was being toxin out of those organs, finally getting back into a binding situation. So, and I'm really big about binding detoxification. Done a lot of talks and presentations regarding binding detoxification, which I think is a very large difference in what most people understand about detox. They think a lot of times it's just flush the body and that fixes the problem. It might make you sick. It can cause more damage a lot of times to everything from the brain system to the liver to the heart system. If you haven't cleaned your colon recently, it can actually just gum up the colon even more. That's why there's a stepwise process.
Gummy colon.
Yeah, no one wants a gummy colon. Bad stuff.
So and there's different ways of detoxing, right? There's like EMF detox, there's people detox, there's civilization detox, there's food detox, toxin detox.
Yeah.
So how do you know where to start? How do you know what? I mean, I think maybe fasting is kind of an interesting place to start. Maybe not, maybe cut away from hard foods and just do the liquids. But how does someone know where they need to start? Do they need to work with a practitioner to tell them your liver's messed up, your kidney's messed up, your colon's backed up?
I think this is where it's so wonderful to be working with a health coach on a routine basis because you can kind of pose these questions And the health coach can kind of hear what your goals are, what you're trying to obtain, and then they can step back and say, okay, well maybe a detox really is the best next step solution. They're going to have to know you a little bit in order to really say what style of detox will you commit to. If I told somebody,
Sure, yeah,
hey,
What? That's a good answer. People are always like, "What's the best juicer?" It's the answer is the juicer you use.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So what's the best detox? It's the
What's
one
the
that makes
best?
sense.
Yeah, the one that makes sense. If I say 10-day water fast, and you literally like, you want me to do what? I'm never gonna be able to. And like, I know because today
Especially if they have to go to work every day or have a high energy demand job or activity for children.
But a 2-day, shake, smoothie, juice kind of style.
That's huge for most people. It's just doing that.
The biggest step in
Yeah.
that direction. And eventually you go, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
It's going to feel weird at first no matter what change. I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of people when it comes to all of this setting up of change and structure is that you have to, one, be willing to go to the door and open the door of change and understand that when you step in through that door, it's going to be different. You're not going to be comfortable. You understand that you see this blue wall, you know the blue wall. But when you all of a sudden switch to a new area, it's going to feel weird. I deal with a lot of people on a routine basis where the first steps they're making in healing feels very weird. They feel very off. They don't have their normal patterns with them, helping them kind of make sense to the world. And that's actually the best place to be because something's new, something's altering. It'd be like getting on a carousel and then being happy that there's no movement on the carousel.
Other than going in the circle.
Well, exactly. The idea is all of a sudden, even that. I mean, people a lot of times I would say with the current paradigm they're in, they're just on the carousel.
It's not even moving.
It's not moving. There's nothing happening. That's why they feel like their body's falling apart.
Sure.
Because they want a sense of something, some motion.
Right. So for most people, just cutting out basic things or adding in something like a smoothie every day or cutting out soda or let's say processed sugar.
Yeah.
That small goal, that can be your first detox.
Yeah.
So I think the key here is not being overwhelmed with all these different things. I kind of started looking at how do you know where to start? What do you do? And I think that's where a lot of beginners start is they have all these, what do I clean my liver? Do I clean my kidneys or my blood? Where it starts. So just the simplest little things you can upgrade or change is a great place to start.
Oh, yeah.
For most people, it's going to be a huge, profound shift.
Because again, the moment you make a change, you are technically working faster, harder, and stronger than 90% of the population out there on your health. That's where, and the big congratulations always is in, I did something. And again, maybe, like I did something. I mean, that's
drinking more water is a great place to start. I would imagine.
I would say
stay hydrated.
The most simplest thing. I do my talks every week on Thursday where all we do for a minute is just breathe. That's all. Because most people never do that. So it's not so much about completing the most crazy high end, brand new book, whatever.
30 days.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a fantastic goal to have, but understand that sometimes the first step is just really that very simplistic, concept. And I think getting people to the place where they feel comfortable, a lot of times that's the beautiful role of a health coach, is coming in and saying, hey, it's okay. You can do that scary thing that you don't think you can do yet. And when you're there at the end, I'll be the one to congratulate you because you actually made it. So again, maybe you're a runner and you know what it's like to run the longest distance you've ever run, and you're running life, and there's no one there to say, hey, good job at the end of it. There's no big celebration, no parade, no nothing. And then you finally run a marathon with a bunch of other individuals, and you go, hey, there's a huge crowd of people here to say congratulations. It feels so much different when someone finally gives you that step. Me personally, I just have always been pushing myself in my health goals. And I, very rarely, a lot of times I think I do the opposite. A lot of times my wife's like, doing what? Why? Like that's crazy. And I'm like, I know, but it's interesting to change it a little bit, like to see how the body performs. Sure. So that confidence level kind of keeps rising up. And then when someone calls me and goes, "Hey, I'm doing your colon cleanse," and I go, "Yeah, what day are you in?" "Oh, day number 3." "Yeah, that's tough."
You know from experience.
It's gonna be
Sure.
it's gonna be kind of interesting when you get to day 5, and then you feel like you really think your body's finally doing something very different. And that's, I think, the fun part is with this whole paradigm. A lot of times people look at health coaches, and we really are just doing our own same practice along with everybody else. There's I have my own system, my own place, and a lot of people ask, well, what do you do? And if you try to take that drink today, you sit there and go, okay, that kind of tastes like I'm chewing on a dead caterpillar on a burnt stick, wrapped around with a little bit of nice, cow patties. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what you need in order to actually get the body working. And
Cow patties.
yeah, it's the flavors that actually make the difference. Yeah, I mean, no, there's a lot of great stuff out there. But again, on the detox concept, it really is so critical and so important to talk to somebody, to ask what they feel it might be, and make sure it's the person who you can actually trust their opinion, that they have, they're not just throwing something out at you like, oh yeah, just go ahead and have fun with it. But a detox can simply be 1 minute a day of breathing for 2 weeks, and just see how your body feels. I think that's one of the things that came to me yesterday, was just do whatever it is you think you should be doing for 2 weeks and see how you feel. Like I say, try eating, Krispy Kreme donut, and every morning for 2 weeks, and see, you'll probably feel crappy. And that'll give you a really good understanding that, hey, this isn't the right thing for me, to figure something else out. But when you see the patterns start to develop, then that's what kind of puts things like this. Like I say, with these compounds, it's unique because being able to pull in from different areas, and see the understanding. Like I say, I love the fact that I was making my shake. I started realizing that I had realized in Australia, chili from India. I have lemongrass in there from China. I've got all these like interesting little tidbits from all over the world. And I'm like, like there's more countries represented here in this in this shape than a lot of people even see the news of like on a daily basis. So it's just one of those things where it's dynamic, it's fun, it's for me, and that's one of those big things of getting yourself into a practice that's for you. And that's where I think the health coaching platform is so critical, because it's personally designed. It's not just following a book recipe. I mean, I love the master plan. I love Sugar Detox by Mark Hyman. Great doctor there for being able to get people to finally do something that can drastically change their life. But the idea of making that step, first steps first. So I mean,
So start with something simple.
start with something simple.
Now we were talking about colors.
Uh-huh.
Green is the detox color, is it not? And heart and
Green is
like green foods will detox you.
will detox you, correct, and that's where I always put my caution out. Because again, like I have somebody who was recently experienced gallbladder removal. And had surgery and they took out the gallbladder.
I can't do kale.
And so they were taking a bunch of green drinks during the healing. And I'm like, oh no, like, how do you feel? And they're like, oh yeah, I just wake up with a headache all the time. And I'm like, oh, so this process is definitely one where I'm like, yeah, that's not the best scenario to be in. Post surgery, which is traumatic, you should really be, and that's where even different seasons. I don't detox at all during the delivery, not when the body's really not supposed to. The energy is not strong enough, you're not sweating enough, there's not enough working for you in that scenario. You can change your
So
environment.
you can do like that's an interesting time to cut out sugar maybe. It's a great time to do sugar detox.
Oh yeah, cut out sugar, be able to sleep more, actually.
EMF detox.
EMF detoxes. Again, it's a hibernation period, so sometimes it's just people isolation.
So what do you think about wearing green?
Wearing green does a lot for, again, yourself in terms of the energy wavelengths that are coming at you and being absorbed into the body, but it also is one of those where understanding and seeing that and giving that to other people as well too. So that's one of those things that's kind of nice about the idea that you wear colors, in order to kind of be somebody for somebody else. That's where even this time of renewal in spring, things are everybody starts thinking green. So the unique thing that happens is that people do get to experience somebody's effect from across the room. So it is kind of interesting. I mean, if spend the time again to kind of change wardrobes around, you can sort of see the biggest effect on people when you start to do something repetitively. You go, wow, I noticed you kind of switched to all green for the last week. You go, yeah, I'm trying to help other people think about detox.
I'm wearing jeans. I got black on. I'm wearing jeans today.
Uh-huh.
Then I realized too, my undershirt is blue. So abracadabra, campers,
Yes,
we're all blue.
we're all blue. But yeah, so it's a wonderful place to be at.
Interesting that I brought the green heart spaghetti. I don't know if that's overexposed. To the camera.
There we go. Okay, now you can see the green.
Organic Unity. This is spagyrics. This is an anahata or a heart spagyric.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what's in here because the ingredients kind of disappeared from the ink washing off, but it's like hawthorn berry and other heart herbs. So I just like the synchronicity, I guess, is why I'm bringing this up. I just happened to bring this. I didn't know we were going to talk about detoxification.
Yeah.
Or colors.
And so it all definitely plays into a role. And so we really do want material. And the biggest thing I would think though is always come at this with a plan. Have a system, have a scenario, something that actually makes sense for you and really does a tremendous benefit in your own patterns that you need to set for yourself. Like I say, I always start off whenever I'm working with somebody by the idea of just the first 2 to 4 weeks, just writing down your pattern. And when you understand that, then all of a sudden you can really step into a much better place for how do we want to change things, how do we want to move things into deeper understanding. And then once we have that understanding, then we can finally make that step into difference. It's kind of unique because that's where we just got done spending the weekend at the World Summit for Cancer Cure. And it was an amazing exposure to a lot of alternative treatments and healthcare that are actually out on the market for dealing with a lot of the internal issues of the body when it comes to different forms of different areas of cancer. So it is very very interesting how there were a few thousand people in attendance, a lot of cancer survivors who have gone through the struggle and being able to really set themselves up into knowing now what the alternatives are. That's definitely something that I think a lot of people out there need to be aware of. There is an actual online, I believe, electronic copy or download that's going to be available for anybody who didn't.
Oh, the videos.
So all of the presenters, all of the people who are showing and allowing the different technology. But again, it's one of those where somebody letting you know that there's an issue where you've got a diagnosis and you're looking for how to start and begin the healing process. First, understand that it's possible, and second, start to get on an actual plan and start to work with somebody directly. And know that you can, through healing your own body, start to make yourself into a different situation where you'll be able to go through treatments so much more effectively, or be able to actually look at the alternative systems for healing in a much more rapid way. So it is a very wonderful experience to get exposure to, and once you do something sometime that goes through just all of the topics and something maybe that we were exposed to over the weekend as we were going through that particular that one conference there. So lots of entertaining and really wonderful stories of people in survivorship and allowing them to share and talking about going through that illness and getting themselves into a better place to where they can go through and feel the big differences in their lives. So it's definitely a wonderful thing to get exposure to. And like I say, as we continue to kind of grow as coaches ourselves and working with individuals, understanding that our role and our opportunities of stepping people into preventative self-care programs is the most important position to start being a part of. So I mean that's really one of those. Mike, I know that you're still going through your coaching training right now, and still where are you at? What's been happening in the classwork and everything that you've been working on focusing on?
Um, Anything specifically you're looking for, or just mean in general? What's going on with that?
Yeah, what's going on? I mean, obviously you're stepping into a new world. Like this is something very different for you.
I should understand the context. Sorry. Which I still don't. Yeah, we so we're halfway through our program. It's cool. We're covering a lot of different. It's a lot of information pretty quick. We're covering a lot of different topics. Most of them are different diet and health systems, and so you're kind of getting a broad overview of everything from raw food to paleo to macrobiotics, and then a lot of the focus is on how to work with people. You know, how to be a good listener, how to help people come to their own conclusions or their own realizations. So you're kind of the sounding board or a bounce back for them to kind of figure it out. Specifically, though, I mean that's I mean nothing really comes to mind.
Well, I mean, I found that with the actual coaching training, that there was a lot of things happening around me that were actually being reflected by what I was learning at the same time. So that became a great learning tool. Because I was always, being prompted to think about things in my education that would be real world applicable at those times. So I was always looking for ways of reaching out and talking to people and finding ways to connect and to start to sort of establish that form of what a coach is supposed to do and how they're supposed to work. You're always looking for a conversation starter to where that way you kind of get into understanding the person, but you really find out that they are doing something that they love to help to work with.
I like that they talk about this concept that it's always kind of the first thing that somebody says, and it's usually not like in context to anything that has to do with health coaching. They'll just be like, "Yeah, really busy morning this day, today.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm dealing with stomach pain." And it's like, wait a second, why was your? Tell me about your busy morning. So it's always that first thing when you see somebody that they say that you almost don't pay attention to because it's like the icebreaker or the small talk. But sometimes there's some real juice in there. You can do that in your own personal life with your relationships to kind of maybe get a little bit underneath the surface or under something with more depth to it.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing what happens when you start getting people to open up.
Sorry, so I'm a little lost here. So are we diverging from detox a little bit here, or
a little bit.
Okay?
Just like I say.
Sorry, you have to understand I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah.
I need framework. I need structure. I need context.
The idea is this is a great way to be available and understanding when you're asking people questions how to get started. How to make connections.
Sure.
Starting and understanding where you are in your process, your steps on this change that's occurring for you. And again, this was the most dramatic course correction that I made in my entire career.
The health coaching program? Yeah. I saw a huge shift in you.
It was such a dynamic.
It's very empowering.
Very empowering.
Yeah.
And I still today, what is it now? 3 years after certification, so 4 years after beginning the program, I still today find that I'm learning. I'm still in the process.
It's a lifelong thing. There's always new facts and information coming out. We kind of really don't know. I mean, we know a lot about the body, but there's still so much that we don't know. We have enough information to have fun and do a lot of cool things, But really, it's exciting because every day there's new information coming out and old theories being broken and bad science being proven wrong. Um, so yeah, of course, there's always more to learn. I mean, even if you just look at the system of Ayurveda, how many years would it take to master that? Or Chinese, herbalism. But good thing we're going to live to be 1,000.
Yep.
So we'll have many lifetimes to master all that.
All of that.
After like 500 years, you better have your detox protocol down.
I hope so.
Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe there's more learning happening.
Change. Yeah, things always change. So that's the one concept we can kind of keep trusting and allowing for ourselves to be part of. Just like I said, I like the idea, the framework here. We're always interested in getting more feedback and understanding from individuals. To be able to email us, even if they'd like to hear particular concepts and topics talked about on Two Crazy Health Coaches. When we do our weekly updates here, each week we're going and we're living our life. We're doing what we're able to get done in a week, and trying to bring that back here. Sort of get people to see what's going to happen. Like I say, this weekend doing the talk with the Skywatch LA group is going to be a very interesting, very wonderful setup and scenario.
What is this now?
So that's this weekend.
What is Skywatch?
Skywatch LA is a group that focuses on chemtrail information and trying to get people to kind of just understand what's happening to the actual West Coast environment here. With the way that chemtrail strains is activating lots of different issues inside the human body. And my focus is going to be more on the actual detoxification of everything from the Fukushima incidents to radiation issues, and trying to get ourselves into a better protocol for prevention as we start to see West Coast issues really starting to happen from the nuclear incident there. So that's just one of those where they kind of like the idea of being able to get in control and be able to do a protocol and a program that focuses on removal of that material from the body. So
interesting. There's that saying that cleanliness is next to godliness.
oh yeah.
You can take that as little as you want or not, but there's the fact that there's a similarity between, like, let's say, humidity and having cleanness in your life. Now, we always think of spring cleaning as like cleaning out the cobwebs or dusting the house, but we want to do that with our body temple as well, too, right?
Yeah, no. The first temple has to be clean. There's a way to do it, and that's definitely, I think, a big step for a lot of individuals is understanding any step to detoxification. Obviously, great, but do it in the right way. It shouldn't be painful. It shouldn't hurt. You shouldn't have to miss out on activities and work and friends or anything of that nature and go, oh yeah, sorry, I can't go to that really awesome cool thing you want me to go to. I've got to detox today. It's supposed to work, with your lifestyle, and that's really that tailored sort of opportunity. There's no reason to have it, have such tremendous effects to where, and it really should not create these flu-like symptoms that so many people I hear consistently while standing in the juice line. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I'm detoxing today. I can't eat. My stomach hurts. I can't really think. I've got no energy." My initial thing to interrupt is, well, that might mean that you're not doing the right detox, or you're not doing it in the right order. So, this time of the year, definitely something where if you're interested in actually emailing or leaving a message after this video in order to actually get some personalized help, there's always the opportunity to send us some sort of contact, and we can get back a hold of you and do a quick consultation and understand maybe where the first steps for you might be for detoxification on yourself. That's what we do. That's how we like to run this system. That's what.
You want to give me your email address?
So the easiest email address to probably use right now is going to be brilliancenutrition@gmail.com. But we are working on establishing.
There's a two crazy health coach.
Number two.
Number two, crazy health coaches at gmail.com. Either of those will work.
You do a little work. Just get in contact with us. We'll
Joseph's very good about checking his email to get back to people.
I really do go through that process on a routine basis. What are you saying?
I'm just kidding.
I do a lot. There is a lot of great positivity. Like I say, in coming up with a plan, feeling more secure and confident, and working with somebody who can actually do this work, and that way you can kind of see how this develops. Again, we're on episode 2 of Two Crazy Health Coaches. This process is something that's going to be very wonderful to where even at the end of this year, you might have 40 videos that'll be out there for individuals to kind of go back and check and understand and see what's happening. But that's where you can get your own technically like personalized talk on just a particular question you have just by emailing us and letting us know what your concerns are and hearing those details by tuning in and actually understanding where we are today with the understanding behind how to kind of work with that particular issue. So it is a wonderful place to be at. Change is amazing. It's what the seasons do. It's what the time does.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. It's the only constant that you can actually count on in life is that things change.
Right. Well, I was saying, why would I want to detox? Like let's say I have no context for detoxing. Why? What is this? Is this a hippie weirdo thing? Is this a new age airy fairy concept that you're trying to sell me, or is this a realistic? Why? Why do I need to detox? Is my body not always detoxing all the time?
It is. It is on a level that is enough to clean this basic sort of contaminants. It's definitely not something where we see with the environmental load that's in the air.
Kind of because now we're in this post-industrial age, right? So there's a little bit more. There's higher stakes now than in caveman times and pre-industrialism, right?
Correct. When your only major toxic scenario was a volcanic explosion,
right?
Little sulfur in the air. Then the idea is you had very little to take out of the body because everything you were eating was fully organic, fresh fixed, and really one of those things that allowed for the body to not suffer from a lot of conditions.
So that's kind of what our bodies have evolved or were created to do.
Correct.
Was have that type of toxic load, right? And we were eating less too, because food can be toxic too, right? That's part of aging. There's like a perfect homeostasis or balance we can try to find with our calorie intakes, but in our toxic load. So now it's kind of a different game. So now we kind of need to evolve with this in this post-industrial nuclear age.
Right.
We have to get proactive in our health strategies
Very much so.
to combat that, or to be in balance with that and be homeostasis with that.
The average person comes in contact with 90,000 chemicals on a yearly basis. That's everything from plastics. That's all the way down to
plastics are a great one. That's I worry more about plastics than I do not worrying toxic too. But I have an interest or a concern in plastics more than like heavy metals, for example.
Right.
These endocrine disruptors, xenoestrogens, are a huge issue. I mean, because they're like these micro particles clogging up the system.
And that's where gently detoxifying every day is very critical. And then starting to understand that, like myself, for the month of March, doing more intense cleaning is the way to kind of do the difference between the surface dusting and then high pressure washing. That's the uniqueness that goes on there. But there is that setup that really needs to be thought out. And that's, I think, where if people thought for some reason that detoxification wasn't necessary, my body can keep up, their level of experience and their illness wouldn't be present. If there's anything occurring in the body that's not as you would imagine it, intended to be just joyful and be full of great activity, the moment you have any reaction that body, there's probably some toxicity that is connected to it, related to it, or happening because of it. So
food sensitivity. There's like toxic foods.
correct, correct. And definitely, like I said, still in the fight there. May
So
May 23rd will be the next non-GMO Marching Monsanto date that we're actually working on as well too. So that's obviously a big step into that whole idea of understanding that everything out there has in some way an issue, and you have to be capable of going through it on positive.
I was reading something about like the report on Natural News. I think I never heard of incredible sources or anything. They were saying something like 90% of rainwater or just available water now has Monsanto.
Really phosphate.
Yeah, and then which I imagine is a huge infrastructure or gut inflammation.
Yep.
Tricky. So now, methylators are really good at removing plastics, right?
Correct.
From our bodies.
Correct. So
trimethylglycine,
Yep.
dimethylglycine, MSM, DMSO.
No, fantastic. Even like you say, nutritional bathing. I like doing a lot of work to the bathtub, using things like borax and washing soda and some of the crazy detox stuff. That helps in my process. Because again, the skin is one of the easiest ways to pull a lot of things out of the body. Versus going through the issues of trying to be able to get everything out from just the sun.
Sweating. Your skin's a huge one of your main detoxifiers.
Correct.
So getting in the sun, infrared saunas, exercising, some cardio, opening up the lymph.
Yep.
Dry brushing.
Yep. Got to move the body around.
With some essential oils to make
Mm-hmm.
it feel good. They smell nice.
So, like I say, this is a fun, wonderful morning. We got to be here to go through a couple of these great topics and items, and it's definitely something where we always are reaching out to individuals who want to feel and understand, how to kind of work with somebody in terms of getting their most brilliant self to start showing up.
Yeah, I like that.
So it is definitely, you gotta, clean the windows and dust the shelves and do the detoxification necessary, in order to keep the body healthy and happy and working for it. So and it is something where it's year by year, day by day. I don't know any other way of doing it. It's nothing that just solves the problem immediately.
So if people have questions about detoxification, spring cleaning, write us and we'll answer them.
Yep. Send us over the details, give us comments. Always looking for prompting from somebody outside of just myself and Mike here in the room.
With our blue shirts in the blue room. Day by day. Oh dear Joe, these things I pray. Be a little bit cleaner.
Okay.
Be a little bit leaner. Day by day. You're not a Godspell fan?
Yeah, that's still fine, but the idea is not everybody wants your version of that still.
Oh, they want it, Joe. No. They want it so bad.
No. If you really like the way Mike is singing,
email me.
Then email and let us know, and we'll do an entire hour of Mike singing your favorite
show tunes. Yeah.
Yes, we can. See, now that would be fun. We could do all of the great material from Cats, and we could do some stuff from Wind, and we could knock that out.
Yeah. Do some classics, some contemporaries.
Yeah.
Everything in between. I'll even do some like jazz, some crooner jazz stuff if you're interested in that. Some Sinatra big hits.
Fly me to the moon. Yeah, we can do that. I like that. Yeah.
See, I think the people want us to sing more often. We've got to give the people what they want.
We'll see what the comments say. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Two Crazy Health Coaches. Remember, get crazy. We'll see you.
Stay hydrated. Adios.